Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, my name is Lauren. I'm a homeschooling mom of 2 girls, and today we are going to go over our curriculum review, what worked and what didn't for the 2023-2024 school year. And I definitely had to write down some notes, and I'm going to be looking down at them from time to time so I don't lose track of what I'm talking about, because if I didn't, this would be extremely long and I would ramble and I could just talk about curriculum all day. I'm not going to be holding up the curriculum either. I'm just gonna say what the item is because I do have full details and flip throughs of all of the curriculum that we started with this year, and I have them in 3 separate videos. So you can go back and check that out if you are interested in the curriculum that I am talking about. I'm gonna start with my kindergartner and then move on to my 3rd grader, and then I will go over the family subjects and things that we did together. So first, for my youngest, she did kindergarten this year. She used the Good and the Beautiful handwriting. She did the Doodles and Pre-Writing Part 2 book, as well as the Level K. She did enjoy using a pen to trace over letters that I wrote. If it was a lot of things to copy or something like that, she just liked to trace over what I wrote. Nothing too much to say there, simple handwriting. Moving on to math, she used Simply Good and Beautiful Math K from the Good and the Beautiful. That went really well. She enjoys math. She loves number blocks. That is like one of her favorite shows. If you could change anything, a math problem, into like number block numbers, she would instantly be like, oh yeah, it's this. So that was super helpful for us as well. She also liked that I had them bound by units, because when she completed a unit, it was this big sense of accomplishment, and it wasn't like, oh, we just continue the book. It was like, oh, I get a new book. So that was actually a really big plus for her. I show you guys how I bind my curriculum in my curriculum binding video, and I also show you how I bound them separately in the flip through in my curriculum video from this past year. But I just did it by unit and laminated the cover and all of that. I also like that we started the new lesson on the front pages. And if you watch my kindergarten curriculum video, you will see what I'm talking about there. But she definitely enjoyed math, and she also really loved the little wooden cars. And we did have the wooden math box. They definitely switched them out now for like the thicker cardboard boxes that has like a magnetic closure now. But we had the wooden cars, but that was her favorite part. But any little thing that you could do just to get them excited about math, like I used number blocks with her, is really helpful because it was like a game and just fun for her. For language arts, she did language arts and literature Level K with the Good and the Beautiful as well. She did the Reading Booster books and cards, that was Level A. She read my first nature reader. She loved to read with her sister before bed sometimes. They wouldn't do it every night, but they would read to each other sometimes, and that was really cute. And something else that we did with both of them was we did keep pace with the course book and the booster books and cards. We just found it helpful to learn and practice or review at the same time before moving on in the course for both of my girls. So that just worked better, just to keep pace with the books and cards and the course book. She also really enjoyed the Letter Tiles app from the Good and the Beautiful too. So I mentioned Dash into Learning. I had already had that whole set. I guess it was sets 1, 2, and 3. I don't know if that's like the complete set. I think there's more books now, but we didn't need to use it. We didn't need to supplement with that for her. I guess you would call her a more natural reader. We didn't need to use it. She did really well with just the Good and the Beautiful Level K. We also had Explode the Code 1, and I honestly forgot about it. It sat on the shelf back here and I just completely forgot. I already know that we love it. It's going to be really simple review for her. I did just show that in how I bind my curriculum video. I literally just pulled apart Explode the Code 1. So it's very simple review, and she's just having fun just writing the words and doing the simple things in there for phonics review. Moving into 3rd. So this is my oldest. She did the Good and the Beautiful handwriting levels 3 and 4. Level 3 is the one that introduces cursive for the first time, and she did level 3 and level 4 this past year. She loves handwriting and she enjoys cursive. She also started the year off with The Good and the Beautiful Typing Book 1. She did some lessons, but we stopped. We paused it before Christmas. We didn't pick it back up, and that was unintentional. She actually really does enjoy typing, but it's something that I'm going to be putting on our loop schedule for next year, just to make sure that we get through, even if it's going to be slowly, just to make sure that we get through things that we want to. But I do think that typing is going to help her as she is required to write more and more. So that is something I want to make sure that I'm including for her. For math, she used The Good and the Beautiful level 3. Now, we definitely noticed a jump between levels 2 and 3. It was challenging at times, but that's to be expected with moving to a new level. There were a couple things that she needed more practice on, even though The Good and the Beautiful is a spiral method and will continue to come back and spiral back to it. There are a few things I think that she just needed more practice. One of those things is multiplication. So she started with musical multiplication and we got to, I believe it was set 2. It was set 2 or 3. She started to get some songs mixed up, and I heard it too. I'll have to see if we can remember which ones they were, but there were 2 of them. And she was getting them confused with a song that was in set A. So we started with Times Tales. She did part 1 of Times Tales. That stuck really well for her. And that is a DVD. And we just did the DVD. And she loves the stories. They're super cute. In general, when she was doing her math though, she would use the times table chart, which was helpful as well, because she would look at the number across the top and the side and then find the answer. So that was still helping her practice, but not like the songs were or flashcards. We still need to move on to part 2 of Times Tales. So math, multiplication, practice, and we needed more review on certain topics, but I just supplemented with a workbook and just found the topic, and then we just went through it with that. But it was like little things here and there that she just needed a little more clarity on. It wasn't like she didn't completely understand a whole topic or anything like that. For language arts, she did The Good and the Beautiful Language Arts and Literature level 2. She finished level 2 before Christmas. It was like the middle of December. She loved the books in level 2, the shared readers, and then the third nature reader is what she was reading with her sister before bed, so they would read their nature readers together. It was adorable. She also enjoyed the videos for language arts, as well as anything that required use of the app to review and practice as well. And that was the Letter Tiles app and the Good and the Beautiful Homeschool app. So both of those apps, she enjoyed things from there. And then in January, she started working on the Good and the Beautiful Literature and Language Arts level 3. She's working on it. We are in unit 3, I believe, expecting to finish over the summer. She wants to finish. That is all her doing. I'm like, we can stop in the middle and just continue it next year. And she's like, no, I want to do it over the summer. So that's all her. She's really enjoying the books that go along with level 3. And this is the updated level 3. There's the 4 books that go with the course. She really loved Timothy of the 10th Floor. She loves the books too. She wants to just sit down with her book and just read. She doesn't want to do the parent-student read back and forth. Not that she doesn't like it, but she just wants to keep going. And I'm like, hold on, we have to do the lesson and then read. She just wants to read the stories. She loved Timothy and Zoe so much that once I told her there was a series on them, the Badger Hills Farm series, she was so excited, so I bought the whole series for her, but she has to wait to read it until she finishes her reading from level 3 and finishes the whole course, and then she gets the series. So that's what we're doing with that. But that has definitely picked up her reading and just wanting to read more books. So her reading has just completely taken off this year. She's always loved audiobooks and listening to her Yodo, but just her sitting up, curled in a chair or the couch or the bed, reading a book, if you can't find her, that's what she's doing. Fix It Grammar from IEW has been amazing. She also learned things ahead of her language arts course book. So when she got to it in her course book, she was like, oh, I learned that from Fix It. The Good and the Beautiful does have grammar in there. So when she would get to points like that or sentence diagramming, it would be review for her. And she's a master at diagramming sentences. I don't even remember learning how to diagram sentences, but I'm like, how did you like even connect the dots on how to do this? And she's like, I got it, Mom, no problem. I don't know how she does it with like little instruction, and it amazes me sometimes, like the things that she just gets. Also with Fix It Grammar, she does have a vocabulary word, and I do have her look that up in the dictionary and write it down. And there is copy work, obviously, from like after correcting the sentence, she would copy the sentence correctly below. No real complaints or anything that didn't work, but I do know that based on her tests that she took at the end of this year, vocabulary and spelling, those are the two areas that we really need to work on with her. So you guys will see that reflected in our curriculum picks for next year. And on to all of the things that I said we were going to do for family subjects. So family subjects, things that we do together. So More Than Words, we completed. They did the copy work, the coloring page, Indescribable book, loved it. We finished that. The Answers book for kids, they loved that as well. We read a few of them. We didn't finish the whole set or anything. Not Consumed, we did Obey and My Brother's Keeper. My oldest did them, my youngest did not. So in the future, I do want to get them the same level and not even worry about the parent guides. So I believe it's primary is the level that I want to get them, just so that they can literally be reading the same exact words on the page and be following along. I will just follow along with them. I just think that will be easier at the level that they're at right now. In the future, when they work on them more independently, and then we come back together and discuss, that'll be a little bit different. But right now, I want them to have the same exact book so we can literally work on it together at the same time. I am still going to use Obey and My Brother's Keeper for my youngest. The pre-K level, I believe, is the one that I have for her. I will use those for her because I have them already. She just didn't sit with us and do them, if that makes sense. But my oldest and I worked together on that, and she loved them. September & Co, we went through all of the character cards and all of the manners cards, just all of the larger cards for the younger kids, ones with all the animals on them. We did Sing a Song of Seasons, which is the nature poem. There's some honesty for you. I didn't read my kids a nature poem every single day. I did forget sometimes, and that's okay. I'm giving myself grace. I did show you guys, I had a bird watching notebook from The Good and the Beautiful. I gave it to the girls. They ran outside with it. They took notes. They drew pictures of birds and observed them, and they did that all for fun. I didn't save that. They just took it and ran with it and had fun. So it served its purpose. We did not do a bird study or anything. That was just purely fun. So there's some science. Slow down book. We are going to continue it. I definitely set it aside once I started trying to rotate all the things I wanted to do. Again, it's something I need to put on a loop schedule, note to self, but it is something that we are going to continue and just continue in the same journals and use that along with the nature anatomy and the ocean anatomy and all of those books. Science, we used The Good and the Beautiful. We did go through health and the physical body. That was honestly the only one science unit that we did. Remember, they did bird watching, they did nature studies. We spent a lot more time outside this year, but no, we did not do any additional formal science, anything really, which if you didn't know, well, math and science are my favorite subjects. I truly missed science this past year, and I had so many science. I think it was 4 science units. I had 4 science units planned for the year. I already kind of knew that we weren't going to do all of them, but I thought at least 2 or 3, but to just get one, it's okay. I'm going to explain more in just a second on why. In the very beginning of the year though, we did Little School of Smiths, Me and My Place in Space, so that was science there, and we did Me on the Map, and that was geography. We also used the DK books. In December, I gave them a book, I think it was pretty much every week, and they just flipped through that for fun. They have a really nice gold edge and a ribbon bookmark, and I know I flipped through and linked them on my Instagram, but I didn't make a YouTube video about it. But they're beautiful books, lovely pictures, and they were on sale for Prime Day on Amazon too. So we bought like the whole collection. For geography, we did Knotgrass, our 50 states. We did finish that. We did one state or 2 lessons at a time. And I couldn't decide if I wanted to split that into 2 years or if I just wanted to focus on getting the 50 states done and then going back to science. So with the science and geography, we would switch back and forth throughout the week. It was like 2 days science, 2 days geography. So it was back and forth. It was okay for a little bit, but then it seemed to be like too much switching back and forth, to be honest. And I felt it too. It wasn't like, oh my goodness, we have all of these things that we're trying to do and it's just too much. It felt like it wasn't focused, if that makes sense. Like if we're doing geography, if we're doing the 50 states, I want to focus on the 50 states. And if we're doing science unit, I want to focus on the science unit. The kids enjoy in doing the extra activities as well. So we don't do a ton of them, but when we do like experiments or something, I don't want to feel rushed in the experiment. Like, okay, now we have to go do geography or we have to go do our state. And then there's an activity for that too. I actually asked the girls, I said, what do you want to do? Do you want to continue to work on the states or do you want to pause the states and work on science? They said we can do science anytime, which is super cute. Science is, I swear, their favorite. So I'm also not concerned about them not officially doing like a science unit because they will just pick up a science book and just start flipping through pages and asking questions. And it's not like I have to do a science unit for them to learn science. Also, with science being my passion, I know that when we do science, we like really go into science. So I'm not as concerned about not having done enough science this year. We're gonna put more focus on science next year. I have a lot of plans going on inside my head so I can focus on the summer plans and what we are going to use for curriculum next year. So I hope this video was helpful. And if you want to see any of the curriculum flip throughs, you can see that in the previous videos from this year. I do have it set up by kindergarten, 3rd grade, and family subjects. So those 3 videos is where you can find all of those. I definitely have more to say about our summer plans as well as our curriculum choices for next year. So remember to subscribe and stay tuned for those. And I want to thank you all for watching and I will see you soon. Bye.